Hello, welcome to today's webinar on design simulation using Visual Elite. Presenter for this session is Mr. Bharanidharan, Manager Application and Support. All attendees are put in mute mode, and if you have any questions, then feel free to post it in the chat window. And Bharanidharan will address the same at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and available offline on our YouTube channel. So now it's over to you, Bernie.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, good morning all. And I am Bharanidharan from Chennai branch, and I will be giving a small presentation on Visual Elite, followed by we will have one design simulation, like one example. Before starting with this, we will see the history of Visual Elite. Thing is, like Mentor had created one particular RTL based software called HDL Designer, and it was initially released in the year 2001, and it was much popular in North America and Europe. And there was another tool that was also developed in the year of 1995, and that was developed by Summit Design. And this is also an RTL based design tool, which is nothing but Visual Elite, and this was more popular in Japanese companies. And in 2006, Mentor has acquired Summit Design, and they started means they wanted to continue both the products, like in which the HDL Designer as well as Visual Elite, the R&D was going on. And coming to features of Visual Elite, these are some of the feature points of Visual Elite. That is, it can support System C and HDL, mixed HDL, nothing but Verilog as well as VHDL, combination of design integration. And we can also do like textual and graphical based design. Graphical based in the sense like it can be either block diagram based or finite state machines or flowchart. Likewise, we can also do. And apart from that, suppose if we have some sort of macros in our designs, like we can also do some sort of schematic based design. That is also possible here. And that examples we will see at the time of doing our demonstration. And like it also has got a link with Vista, like other Mentor graphics tools like Vista, Questa, and other mixed signal language simulator, like any third party external simulators that are also supported. And here we have very good control over documentation of documenting our design. Like suppose if any snapshot or any text or HDL programs or something like that is there, we can document it, and that can be used for showing it as a HTML web page. That is also possible, and this tool is also supported in Linux environment. And this is how the software will look like. This is the main window of Visual Elite, like our something like our console, and this is the place where we do our block diagram based design. And once the design is generated, means completed, once we generate the code, like we can generate the edit for Verilog HDL or VHDL System C codes can be generated, and that editor will look like this. And we'll have some bus interfaces. Interfaces in the sense like we can have what our inputs and output signals are there, and that particular interfaces like the data type or the width of the design and the input mode, output mode, those things can be defined in this particular bus interfaces window. And this is one typical design flow when using Visual Elite software. That is, it can be like we can do text to graphics conversion is also possible, or as said earlier, we can have input files like block diagram or state diagram, flowchart, and this is algorithmic state machine or algorithmic flowchart state machine, likewise. And truth table input is also possible. And apart from that, we also have something called text entry, nothing but the place where we can use our VHDL or Verilog HDL as our input file type. And documentation, frame maker, these are the things which will be helpful for documenting our design, and if needed, this can be shared across in the used as a web page document. And we also have project manager. We'll see the individual explanations in forthcoming slides. And this comes like analysis and compilation. That is, once our design is taken as the input, initial step is to analyze the input design and doing the compilation of the particular input file. And once it is done, we will be going for design verification. Nothing but place where we do our simulation. And for doing the simulation, there are 3 different types of inputs or forcing the inputs. One is text. Nothing but textual test bench can be written, and that can be used for simulating our design. And other thing is test bench waveform. That is, we can generate some sort of input test waveforms, and that can be applied to our design, and that based on that, the response can be observed in our waveform analyzer. And third one is we can also do some sort of stimulus in waveforms. Also, we can do some sort of stimulus editors that are there. But this third one I'm not much comfortable with, and the first one, that is text and the waveform. Those things are done in our example. And once we are comfortable, we are sure with our design's output, then we go for this code generation. This code generation, again, we have options like HDL or a definite list. This HDL is again Verilog or VHDL, both we can use, or system C can also be generated. And then further it will be moved on to the rest of the process like SIG or FPGA based synthesis or any synthesis process we can do. And here the third-party synthesis tools are supported. And similarly, in this design verification part, we also have VisualLX simulation window, that simulation tool is there, that can also be used, or we also have an interface to use the XNL simulator. And these are some of the explanation given like text to graphics. What is this text to graphics is? Like it enhances the design reusability. Like whatever input file that we have, like texture based, and further we can get the like VHDL or Verilog HDL input files are there. Those things can be easily converted to the block diagrams or the state machines that we need to convert to. And for this we have like some sort of characterized logic control is there, based on which the text to graphics conversion is done. And design management. This design management has the facility to, as said earlier, like we can have the project management and version control and access control. And normally what happens is like whatever it also acts like VisualLite also acts like a project manager, where we can have version control is nothing but like suppose in any one of the particular module, if we are making some changes, that particular different iterations of the codes that can also be generated. That is also possible with this. And all units created using various editors. Various editors in the sense like it can be, suppose one design can have multiple design subunits, where one particular block is generated using some block diagram, other block might have some FSM based input, so likewise. So all these things will come under one particular library, which is nothing but the project that we have created. And all these units will come in a hierarchical browser, from where we can easily access the design blocks. Suppose if needed, any changes or corrections are needed, we can easily access those particular blocks for debugging purpose. And extension language, this is like CFI complaint. CFI complaint is something like we can also have some sort of code frame integration, something like that. Like this can be used at the time of doing our frame maker. Like when we go for documentation of our design for displaying it as HTML document or something like that. That's at that time whatever document we generate, that is supported by this extension language. And this is fully customizable using this VisualLite. And you can also increase the productivity with the, you can also do files, like script files can also be used for doing this simulation much faster, and which can also support managers, project managers, or project administrators, or developing or design engineers to change the design environment based on their needs. And as said earlier, documentation, we have something called FrameMaker, which will be more helpful in making the web page of our design, whatever we have done, and that will be compatible with any HTML browser to display the designs documentation. And compilation is the place where we actually like whatever it can be like suppose your design unit can also be compiled in the similar way. The stimulus that you have generated, that can also be compiled. Both the things can be compiled, and that after compiling that only we will go for doing the simulation process. And like for both the things, like once the design is compiled, that is nothing but your unit as well as stimulus. Once both the things are compiled, we can get the HDL generated out of this. That is also possible. And coming to the design verification part, as said earlier, like whatever input files we get, means the either HDL based, or that is nothing but textual based or graphical based. Those things can be simulated using Visual-Alight's internal simulator, or we can also have the option of using the third-party simulators. That is also possible. And before doing the simulation, normally we need to apply the stimulus. That is what initially during the previous slides, that is Visual-Alight design flow I was mentioning. We need to define the stimulus, and that can be either using Visual-Alight's waveform editor or in text. Like in any one of the way we can do the like we can define the stimulus, and once that is done, we can do the, or we can run the simulation and get the simulated results in our waveforms editor, and we can check the output of it, and if based on the output or the response, we can do the necessary changes in our input part. And once we are comfortable with our outputs, like expected results once we are getting, then we can go for this code generation, and as a VHDL or Verilog HDL or a netlist can be generated from our design, like whatever HDL or FSM based or block diagram based design that we have done. From this, we can generate these different file formats after doing our design simulation. And once these things are done, like then the generated file can be used for doing the synthesis process also. And we can also get the two types of files that can be either synthesizable HDL, or that sometimes we can also generate a HDL file which can be simulated using some third-party simulator software. And these are this slide talks about different types of design capture, nothing but different types of input files. One is block diagram, state diagram, or flow chart, truth table, and VHDL input. These are the different types of VHDL input, or generally it should have been mentioned as textual. You can support either VHDL or Verilog HDL, System C, like this. This is block diagrams. Like suppose if we are doing some top-down design in which I will have some blocks, and if I need to go for some design or partition, architectural partition, something like that, I can go for initially I can go for some sort of block diagrams like this, and internally later I can divide them into like for example state machine based or flowchart based or text based or truth table, something like that. That is also possible. Suppose when we go for bottom up input file, that time sometimes we also have something called macro here. Once we click on this in our editor, we will be having some basic components like AND gate or basic gates, basic digital components will be there. Using that also we can do our design. This is what I was mentioning as schematic input file capture. That is also possible here. And this particular slide talks about the state diagrams as the input files. And here, what we can do is these are the objects for doing our state machine based inputs, and take the state and place in our workspace, and then we'll have to enter the transition, these nodes we'll have to enter. And the other thing is we also have something called a state machine wizard, which based on which we will automatically our state will be like a state diagram will be generated. That is like we need to mention how many number of states are there and what are the conditions in each and every states and transition. Then if all these inputs are given, based on that the state diagram will be generated, and that will be placed in our workspace. and whichever particular state has got thick border as mentioned here, that will be our initial state. And this particular slide talks about the flowchart. That is nothing but a flowchart type of input, and from here we can take the tabs like whether you want to start condition, start state or stop, or we can also have something like action, condition checking, and this one particular box with two borders. That is nothing but this is one particular place where it has got one more flowchart inside. So that will be like once we double click on that, we will be able to see the internal flowchart of that particular block. And here we will be having one more set of flowchart, and based on the design requirement, that would have been done. And this is one particular design type, means design capture, that is using truth table. Like we will be having blank truth table fields here, and once our we start our doing our like defining our inputs, based on which the signal names or the input names will be appearing here. Suppose if I am not going to use A and B inputs here, I can leave those cells blank. That is what is mentioned here. Blank input cells have no effect at the output assignment. That means it will not affect our outputs. It will have only the output will have the response only based on the signals that are mentioned here. So here, as per this example, control is one particular input where I am giving some conditions based on which it will give me the output. And this is textual input. When for in one particular block, then for that means the input is taken as the design capture is taken as the textual representation, in which the architecture part of the design is written here. That is VHDL elements, everything is put together, and when we do the simulation. This is applying stimulus. As said earlier, like we will be having textual based input stimulus can be generated, and that can be applied in our simulation part. And for doing this sort of stimulus instead of typing, we can use these icons. Like this is to assign one particular value to a signal, and this is suppose if I am having a clock, and here I can, once I click on this clock, this particular loop will block will automatically come, and only thing is we need to enter the parameters like how long my signal has to be on and off. These things have to be mentioned. This is nothing but 50% duty cycle with logic 1 and logic 0. This sort of information we need to do. And suppose if we are going for some, if your input has got some bus sort of signals, in such case bus that can be taken from here, and here we can again change the values based on our requirements. And this is another method of applying the stimulus. That is nothing but we can open the stimulus like waveform editor, in which you can enter these values. Suppose from 0 to 100th time period, I want this particular bus has to have the value as 0. What I should do is I should select this particular block. Like normally it will be a big, means till the end we will be having only one rectangular bus representation here. In that, from 0 to 100 we can select, and we can right click on the particular selected area and enter the value. That will be taken as the input in that particular time period from 0 to 100. Similarly, from 100 to 200, if we need to assign 50, again select that particular time period and right click on that particular field and enter the value, and it will be taken. Similarly, for all the blocks, we need to select the time frame and enter the values, and based on that our simulation will run executed, means to the output. And this is means in the outputs we are not having anything, because this is only generating the stimulus here, and based on this only we will be seeing the output. And this is the way how we apply the input. And once the test vectors are applied and the simulation is done, then we will be having a waveforms, like generated output waveform will be looking like this. Since these two signals are selected here, the background is different here, otherwise it will also be of same background like this. And this is how the waveforms will be based on the input that we have generated. This is how we will be getting the response for that particular design. And these are some of the tips, like display signal full path, like from where the signal, from which block the signal is there, those things can be seen. And suppose if you want to acquire some signal from some specific blocks, then we'll have to click on this particular icon to acquire the signals. This talks about the presentation of Visual Elite. Next, what we do is we will go for the software demonstration of this. Initially, once we open the software, we will be having a window like this, and in which we'll have to go for File, Libraries. Suppose if I am starting a design, what I should do is I'll have to go to the place where the blank space is there, and just click one mouse click, enter new library name, nothing but the project that you are going to make, and again the path of it, and then OK. Once we click on OK, our library, nothing but the project will be created. Here what I am doing is I am going to take an existing design, that is Lab 2, which was already designed, like some examples are there. And here again I'll go for File, Open. Under Lab 2, which is nothing but my project, I'll have to select the file that I need to check the output, means or do the simulation or something like that. So here what I will do is I'll select this and say OK. This is one simple example that I have taken for demonstrating this schematic based input. Nothing but, as said during the presentation, macro under which I have some basic components, and from here I can take the components and do the connections here. And suppose if I want to simulate this, what I will do is just click on this compile tree, which will do the compilation of our input design. And then we need to go for stimulus. Like we'll have to click on this simulate, then we will be getting which stimulus has to be. Suppose if I have more than one number of stimulus here, and I can select the whichever stimuli I want to select, and based on that the simulation will run. Now here, once the simulation is done, this main window will be changing with these tabs here. Just we need to click on this and click on this acquire. Then we will be getting the signals that are there as per our design. Now here what we need to do is to execute, simulate for, then we need to enter some time period. By default the time unit is nanosecond. Now I have entered 500 and run. It means the simulation, the design simulation will run for 500 nanoseconds. So based on the applied input, I will be getting my output. That is, these are my inputs, A input and B input, and data type is bit, based on which I am getting my output as this. That is when any one of the signal is 0, I will be getting some carry output based on the inputs. This is one simple design that I wanted to show. And we also have one more design. From the same project directory, I have one more design, that is this particular design, the same thing that I used during my slide presentation. See, this one particular input has got, means design has got multiple subblocks. that is 4 sub-blocks are there, in which I have one particular block called SM block, FC block, TT block, and VG block. It means this particular design has got, I just did double click on that. I will go one level below of this particular block. So here what I will have is like place inside this particular block. I have a state machine which has got this sort of transitions and conditions, all these things. And as said earlier, like we will be having based on our design requirement, we will have to select the state and place in our workspace and use these things to do the connections, or we can either go for this, that is state machine wizard. Based on this we can do the automatic state machines can also be generated and used in our design. This is one particular input method, and this is like flowchart based design. Again, this is one particular block which has got one more flowchart inside this particular box, means action. As it was discussed in presentation, the double border that has got one more design unit inside this particular action box. And this is truth table based input block control, and based on which the process will be happening. And this is VHDL block. Like here what I have done is like I have written a VHDL block, same like whatever is typed in the, means shown in the demonstration, means the presentation. Same likewise one architecture that will have this. Suppose if we have a clear full VHDL block here, we will also be having like this. E will be there, nothing but the entity of the design, and this is nothing but the architecture. Since architecture part is only mentioned here, we are having this architecture. And suppose if we expand this, we have declaration. Suppose if we have some other blocks inside this, those things will also be displayed here. Based on the selection, that will be highlighted here. So now, if I do the simulation, and one more thing is, suppose if you want to make any blocks like this, we can use this block. You can just click on that and draw a block like this. We will be getting a block like this, and these are the interconnecting signals. Suppose this is signal and this is bus. Like when you want to use more number of signals, those things will also be can be used. And this is one place. Before that, this is one signal which has to be connected to almost to all the blocks. So what I'll do is I'll just take a wire, but by default whenever we take a wire, we'll be having this arrow based on the input or output. Normally for the inputs it will be in the left hand side, for outputs it will be on the right hand side. So here what happens is, at the place of ending my wire, what I'll do is I'll right click on this and select the attribute. I can change the mode as none, or I can change mode, I can choose, and based on my requirement I can do this, whether you want it as in or out or bidirectional or buffer or none. So here I will be using none because it is something like a simple wire that is brought out here. Later this can be connected to all the places. Now what happens is, here I have named it as clock. This particular signal is named as clock, and in the multiple places I am seeing a wire called clock. So whenever I rename one particular wire as another means name which is getting conflicted with other signal, other wire, so it will ask for the confirmation whether should I merge both the signals or not. So if we want to merge the signals, then we can click on yes, and those signals will be merged together, and that will be applied to the multiple blocks. And this is like a global reset signal, like wherever this is needed it will be applied, because actually in our top level design we are not having, actually it is there inside, like in FSM block we have this reset signal. So directly this will be connected to our FSM blocks reset condition, there it will be connected. Now what we will do is we will we need to compile this. So again, I'll compile. Suppose if you compile on this, means do the compile, it will compile only the top level design. It will not compile the complete design. So I'll go for compile tree, and I'll be getting a message called completed successfully. Then what I'll do is go for simulation. And here I have two set of simulation. As said during my presentation, this is textual based simulation, means stimuli that I have generated, and this is test bench waveform based simulation. So initially what I'll do is I'll do this text based thing. So I have selected that particular stimuli and said OK, and click on this waveform editor and click on this acquire. So here based on that, I'll get based on my input design, I'll get all my signals added to this. And here what I'll do is, as per this example, they have done this design for executing it for 10,000 nanoseconds. So here we can enter the time frame like from 0 to 500 or 0 to 1000 or something like that. But for demonstration purpose, I'll take 10K only. I'll write here and say run. So based on which I am getting my output. So based on the inputs, that I have given here, like A and B, and these values will be displayed here. And here for demonstration purpose, I have taken some random input that I have generated and I have applied here. So I am getting the response based on my whatever input design that I have taken, and I am getting the output response here. And this is like one particular signal where range 1 and range 2, on which we should be having some changes like this. And this is one particular nothing but our reset signal, or like initially it is 0 for some time and later it is made active high, and our system will start working based on our thing. And suppose if I close this and I pick simulation here, and suppose if I want to do the simulation using another method, actually this test bench waveform also is like here also we can do the simulation. But thing is, I have not fully completed this stimuli. So here means the simulation will happen, but we will not get the actual results here, because I did not enter the parameters properly here, so that our output will remain just the same like this. But this just I wanted to show how to do the simulation and how all we can change the values here for these things. So this is what is about Visual Elite's presentation and design simulation. And later, if anything is needed, online we'll have some design document from where the steps are given. Like this PDF is there, based on which I also practiced. Like from initial stage, like how to start with, the complete instructions are given in this. Like whether if you're working on Unix based or Windows based, how to start our design, all this information are given.
Okay, so let's see if we have any questions now on the chat window.